Welcome to video number 3, where we're going to talk about how our paradigm can be used to help us heal from trauma. In order to do so, we'll use a holistic and Islamic approach to treating trauma. We'll focus on 3 areas through which trauma can be healed: the mind, the body, and the heart. This video will focus on the first 2 areas, the mind and body. For each area, we'll briefly explain the Islamic and scientific approaches and then point out how to approach each area directly. To start, let's consider the mind. Through an Islamic lens, our thoughts are given great importance in the Quran. For example, Allah says in Surah 16, verse number 44, "And we revealed to you the message that you may make clear to the people what was sent down to them, and that they may give thoughts." In other words, Allah here teaches us that thinking is important for reflecting, observing, and believing. In the field of psychology, cognitive therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy are some of the most popular treatments. Cognitive theory, the theory that explains human behavior by understanding their thought processes, states that our thoughts affect our feelings, which then affect our behavior. When we change our thoughts, we can change our emotions and how we interact with the world. So if we choose healthy, positive, and Islamically congruent thoughts, then our mood and behavior will likely follow. There are also unhealthy ways of thinking, also known as cognitive distortions, like jumping to conclusions, for example, that we all experience. Those of us who suffer from trauma are much more likely to have cognitive distortions. Through a cognitive approach, you can understand why you have the negative thoughts that you do and how you can change them to decrease your overall feelings of anxiety, depression, and the impact of the trauma you've experienced. Next, let's turn to the body. Trauma stays in the body. While the mind might forget about trauma over time, the body doesn't. It remembers it and develops long-term physiological changes in your body, like chronic stomach aches or headaches. These are known as psychosomatic symptoms, or symptoms which involve both the mind and the body. Did you know that psychosomatic symptoms are mentioned in the Quran? When Prophet Yaqub experienced the trauma of what he thought was the loss of his son, Prophet Yusuf, he became blind. So his psychological state, his mental state, impacted his physiological state, aka his bodily functions. When someone has experienced complex trauma over time, expressive therapies like art, movement, visualization, and breathing exercises can be very helpful. Head on over to the next video to learn all about the way we approach healing trauma through the heart.